2 Kings chapter 8. And Elisha spoke to the woman whose son he had restored to life, saying, Rise up and go, you and your household, and sojourn wherever you do sojourn, for Yahweh has called for a scarcity of food, and also it is coming upon the land for 7 years. And the woman rose up and did according to the word of the man of Elohim, and she went with her household and sojourned in the land of the Pelethites for 7 years. And it came to be at the end of 7 years that the woman returned from the land of the Pelethites, and she went to cry out to the sovereign for her house and for her land. And the sovereign was speaking to Gehazi, the servant of the man of Elohim, saying, Please relate to me all the great matters Elisha has done. And it came to be, as he was relating to the sovereign, how he had restored the dead to life, that the woman whose son he had restored to life was crying out to the sovereign for her house and her land. And Gehazi said, My master, O sovereign, this is that woman, and this is her son whom Elisha restored to life. So the sovereign asked the woman, and she related to him. And the sovereign appointed a certain eunuch for her, saying, Return all that was hers, and all of the increase of the field from that day that she had left the land until now. And Elisha came to Damascus, and Ben-Hadad, sovereign of Aram, was sick. And it was reported to him, saying that the man of Elohim has come. The sovereign said to Hazael, Take a present in your hand, and go to meet the man of Elohim, and inquire of Yahweh by him, saying, Do I recover from this sickness? And Hazael went to meet him, and took a present with him of all the goods of Damascus, 40 camel loads, and he came and stood before him, and said, Your son Ben-Hadad, sovereign of Aram, has sent me to you, saying, Do I recover from this sickness? And Elisha said to him, Go, and say that you shall certainly recover, but Yahweh has shown me that he shall certainly die. And he looked steadily until he was ashamed, and then the man of Elohim wept. And Hazael said, Why is my master weeping? And he answered, Because I know the evil that you are going to do to the children of Israel, lighting their strongholds on fire, slaying their young men with the swords, and dashing their children, ripping open the women that are with the child. And Hazael said, But what is your servant, a dog, that he should perform these things? And Elisha answered, Yahweh has shown that you are to be king over Aram, the leader over Aram. And he left Elisha and came to his master, whom said to him, What did Elisha say? He said, That you will certainly recover. And on the next day it came to be that he took a thick cloth, dipped it in water, and spread it over his face, so that he died. And Hazael reigned in his place. And in the 5th year of Jehoram, son of Ahab, sovereign of Israel, Jehoshaphat was sovereign of Judah. Jehoram, son of Jehoshaphat, began to reign as sovereign of Judah. He was 32 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned for 8 years in Jerusalem. He walked in the way of the sovereigns of Israel, as the house of Ahab had done. The daughter of Ahab was his wife, and he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh. However, Yahweh would not destroy Judah for the sake of David, his servant, as he promised him, to give a lamp to him and his sons forever. In his days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah and made a sovereign over themselves. And Joram passed over to Seir, and all of his chariots with him. And he rose by night and smote the Edomites who had surrounded him, and the commanders of the chariots. But his people fled to their tents. Yet Edom has been in revolt from under the hand of Judah to this very day. Then Libnah revolted at the same time. And the rest of the acts of Joram and all that he did are written in the Kings of Judah. So Joram slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, and Hazayahu his son reigned in his place. In the 12th year of Joram, son of Ahab's leadership of Israel, Ahaziah, son of Jehoram, sovereign of Judah, began to reign. Ahaziah was 22 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned for 1 year in Jerusalem. And the name of his mother was Athaliah, the granddaughter of Omri, sovereign of Israel. And he walked in the way of the house of Ahab. He did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, as the house of Ahab had done, for he was the son-in-law of the house of Ahab. He went with Joram, son of Ahab, to battle against Hazael, sovereign of Aram, at Ramoth Gilead, and the Arameans struck Joram. And sovereign Joram went back to Yezreel to recover from the wounds with which the Arameans struck him at Ramah, when he fought against Hazael, sovereign of Aram. Then Ahaziah, son of Jehoram, the sovereign of Judah, went down to see Joram, son of Ahab, in Yezreel, for he was sick.